In the headlines for this hour on VTV News, cooperation between Vietnam and China in transportation infrastructure. An e-commerce tax management shakeup. In a war news, North Korea tests multi-warrior missile.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Hello, it's 3 p.m. local time in Hanoi. You're watching VTV News. The National Assembly held a plenary session on Thursday morning to discuss the draft law on the People's Air Defense. More to follow.
While the draft law on People's Air Defense closely aligns with the party's strategy on national defense, some deputies have requested clarification regarding the law's scope and a clearer definition of what constitutes an ultralight aircraft.
To broaden the scope of regulation, the following revision is proposed. This law governs the establishment, mobilization of forces and operations of the People's Air Defense, the oversight of uncrewed and ultralight aircraft and ensuring air defense safety, and the resources, regulations, and state management of the People's Air Defense. Section K7 specifically addresses ultralight aircraft, requesting further clarification on the specific weight criteria defining an ultralight aircraft.
Some deputies suggested including the Ministry of Public Security in designing, repairing, maintaining, and testing uncrewed and ultralight aircraft to align with the authorities outlined in the law. Additionally, they proposed expanding the People's Air Defense definition to encompass the management, protection, use, and exploitation of low-altitude airspace below 5,000 meters.
I propose adding to the People's Air Defense definition the management, protection, use, and exploitation of low-altitude airspace below 5,000 meters. This expansion aims to address the scope of the People's Air Defense in safeguarding and defending the nation. Such a regulation will also clearly define the groups of subjects within People's Air Defense.
The National Assembly on Thursday morning passed the law on roads and the law on road traffic order and safety. Deputies also discussed using the general reserve of the medium-term public investment plan from the central budget for 2021 to 2025, corresponding to increased central budget revenues in 2023 to fund public investment projects.
To mark Vietnamese Family Day, State President Tô Lâm on Thursday morning visited Đường Lâm village in Sơn Tây, Hanoi, one of the few places that preserve the essential characteristic of a northern village. It is also where multiple generations of family live together to preserve the traditional cultural values. State President Tô Lâm expressed his emotions when visiting the ancient Sư Đoài Culture Center, a one hamlet, two kings location that was a civilized and revolutionary homeland with a traditions of studiousness, a source of pride not only for the capital but also for the whole country. The state president affirmed that the cause of building and defending the nation, realizing the aspiration to develop a prosperous and happy country, cannot lack the important role and contributions of each community, each neighborhood, each village, and each family. Vietnamese Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh attended the Vietnam-China Cooperation Conference on Strategic Transport Infrastructure Development and the Role of Vietnamese Chinese Enterprises in Beijing, China on Thursday morning. Politburo members and Chinese Vice Premier Giang Guoqing also attended. At the conference, Chinese Vice Premier Giang Guoqing affirmed that Vietnam is an important partner of China and that the cooperation between the two countries in the transport sector contributes to promoting bilateral relations, helping to improve custom clearance capacity, developing supply chains, and creating new vitality for the region's harmonious development. Vietnamese Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh emphasized that developing strategic transport infrastructure, connectivity, between Vietnam and China is of special importance, an objective need because the two countries are mountains connected to mountains, rivers connected to rivers, which facilitates people-to-people and goods exchanges, regional and international connections. In the first 5 months of this year, the tax collector collected $1.96 billion through e-commerce, which is 51% of last year's total. Tax collection from foreign suppliers has also seen improvement, with 96 foreign suppliers now contributing $612.6 million. However, experts believe that there is still a certain amount of tax loss through e-commerce. Despite this, relevant ministries affirm that they are implementing several key measures to manage e-commerce taxes strictly.
In addition to sharing data from over 900 websites and nearly 300 e-commerce trading platform applications with the tax sector, the Ministry of Industry and Trade also proposed abolishing the VAT exemption regulation for imported goods valued at less than $40.
Based on monitoring data, 4 major e-commerce trading platforms handle approximately $1 billion worth of imported goods each month. This situation highlights potential tax losses unless we adjust the current regulations accordingly.
The Minister of Finance is collaborating with the Ministry of Public Security to electronically identify online sellers and review shared data from various ministries.
We will promote the implementation of tax collection on e-commerce platforms and transactions conducted via electronic means. Our focus will initially be on Ho Chi Minh City and Hanoi. The entire tax sector has issued official communication urging provinces to direct tax agency to support and facilitate tax collection on e-commerce platforms.
National Assembly deputies have also suggested studying and adding regulations requiring e-commerce platforms with online ordering functions to deduct taxes from sellers' revenues.
E-commerce platforms facilitating direct transactions of goods and services must deduct taxes directly without requiring sellers to declare again.
Shifting from individual tax declarations and payments to e-commerce platforms deducting and remitting taxes on behalf of sellers will streamline administrative processes and lower compliance costs.
Due to bad weather this year, Lục Ngạn district in Bắc Giang province expect fresh lychee productions to plummet by 60 to 70% compared to 2023, reaching only 53,000 tons. The productivity is mainly from early ripening lychee varieties that fetch high selling prices. Therefore, the district is promoting crop restructuring, urging farmers to focus on early ripening lychees. More to follow.
According to Lục Ngạn residents, this year temperatures are 0.5 to 1.5 degrees Celsius higher than the annual average, making it difficult for lychees to fruit. Heavy rains cause unripe fruit to rot and fall, leading to a sharp drop in production. Meanwhile, gardens growing unripening lychees have high fruiting rates. Thai's family finished harvesting and selling their produce in early June.
Before, my family mainly grew main season lychees, but the efficiency was slow, so we switched to early ripening lychees. Early lychees set at a better price.
This year, despite unfavorable climatic conditions, the area of early ripening lychees reached more than 70% of fruit production. Prices have doubled and even tripled compared to last year.
All 4,000 hectares of early ripening lychees in the district has been harvested, totaling 24,300 tons. Meanwhile, with an area 3 times larger, the main lychee harvested expected to be only around 30,000 tons. Early lychee varieties are less affected by climatic conditions. Therefore, production in 2024 is less affected.
We recommend farmers convert part of the main crop area to early lychee variety. This variety of lychee brings higher sale prices and income to farmers.
Since 2021, Lục Ngạn has doubled the area dedicated to early ripening lychees from 2,000 to 4,000 hectares. The region plans to expand the cultivation of early ripening lychees further to enhance economic efficiency for lychee farmers.
In implementing digital transformations in agriculture, traceability has become a mandatory requirement for a product distributed domestically and in 153 export markets. Therefore, the creation of a supply management database and an information system for tracing the origins of agriculture, forestry, and fishery products is necessary and must be implemented by farmers and businesses as soon as possible. However, its deployment poses many challenges. Consumers are still not aware of using products with traceable origins. Farmers' habit, awareness of following procedures, and hesitancies about taking notes are also factors that slow down the implementation. In addition, developing and implementing a traceability system for each product and product group is not clear and specific. Traceability stamps and e-commerce platform is still a new step for localities to shift from an agriculture production mindset to an agriculture economic one. And with the participation of ministries and businesses, relevant parties are implementing more appropriate and effective solutions for digital transformations. And these solutions identify farmers as the focal point of this change.
In addition to the farmer network welcomed in the Mekong Delta and Central Highlands, the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development has also developed a traceability system. This system allows accurate and safe information authentication and traceability of product origin through exclusively protected technology solutions.
Traceability is not difficult, but is centered on people's awareness and cannot be resolved with money. All levels and sectors are responsible for helping to raise farmers' awareness incrementally until they proactively implement it.
Currently, many apps are in use, so the first issue is connecting these to ensure appropriate investment. The second is using existing infrastructure and combining the apps because each app is currently on a separate platform. This is the responsibility of managing agencies. Digital transformation requires efforts from the Agricultural Ministry, the Farmers Association, and local authorities. It should also be carried out in conjunction with initiatives like Project Number 6 on citizen ID cards. The aim is for farmers to participate in digital transformation to gain better income than those without.
Currently, 43 provinces and cities can now apply Check VN to manage production, trace origins, and connect supply and demand with the participation of nearly 7,200 businesses and almost 21,000 agricultural and food products that meet food hygiene and safety criteria.
And before moving on to some of the news, let's take a look at foreign exchange rate for today, June 27th. Coming up next on VTV News, 1 million students nationwide enter national high school graduation exam. And zero tolerance policy for drug crimes. On Thursday, more than 1 million students nationwide enter the national high school graduation exam. There are more than 2,300 exam venues nationwide. This year's exam is the last exam with 6 subjects under the former curriculum. According to information from the Ministry of Education and Training, more than 98% of students completed the registration procedures and will take the first exam, literature, on Wednesday morning in essay form. In the afternoon, students continue with their math exam. In addition to literature and math, students will sit exams in natural science, chemistry, physics, and biology, or they will take the social science exam and those for history, geography, civic education, and foreign languages. This year, only 37% of the students chose the natural science exam. The remaining 63% chose the social science exam, the highest percentage since 2017. Ho Chi Minh City Police said they have prosecuted 318 cases with nearly 1,000 defendants involving flight attendants transporting drugs from France to Tân Sơn Nhất Airport. The value of the drug transaction was estimated to be up to $1.1 billion. The subjects were prosecuted for producing, buying, selling, transporting, storing, organizing illegal use of drugs, failing to report crimes, storing counterfeit money, gambling, and robbery. 80 subjects were given administrative penalties for storing and illegally using drugs. The police also seized more than 319 kilograms of various types of synthetic drugs. In recent years, drug crime has become increasingly complex in all major Vietnamese entry points, including sea, air, and postal routes. The volume of drug seized has been continuously rising. In this relentless battles, the coordination of specialized forces has played a crucial role in dismantling numerous cross-border drug crime networks in eradicating intricate drug trafficking hubs and hotspots.
These stacks are filled with drugs warehoused in Hải Phòng or Ho Chi Minh City, ready to be shipped by sea to a third country. The ringleader is Chinese chemical expert employing a new drug washing technique that has emerged for the first time. The largest, however, seized included 1.3 tons of ketamine.
Due to its global nature, Vietnam is a transit point, not necessarily a destination for drugs.
Air routes, postal services, and delivery services are also exploited for drug transportation. The perpetrators communicate through social networks, dividing the transportation process into multiple stages and using various shipping companies to cover their tracks and eliminate any signs of irregularity.
We conduct thorough investigation and access trafficking routes. Effective information sharing between domestic and international authorities is also a key to preventing smuggling.
Transnational drug networks led by international criminal organizations involve both domestic and foreign suspects. As such, strengthening coordination and information exchange with domestic and international authorities is crucial for effectively preventing drug smuggling early and at a distance.
The operation extends to intercepting shipments as they move further inland and ultimately preventing the assembly and transportation of drugs to third countries.
The relentless efforts of the relevant forces have tracked suspects' trails for many years, not just days or months. Driven by a single, unwavering goal to fight relentlessly and prevent the scourge of drugs causing harm, Vietnam remains an active participant in the international battle against drug crimes.
A significant amount of agricultural waste is generated daily by farming in Lâm Đồng province, and instead of disposing of it, many farmers have started reprocessing and using it in their fields.
This farmer utilized macadamia nut husk as raw material for drying agricultural products. After each drying process, he obtains a substantial amount of biochar and good vinegar.
I use the thermal reaction mechanism to produce biochar. The biochar I am researching and producing is electrically conductive, can stimulate metabolite and ion exchange, and promotes crop growth.
The macadamia husks initially used as fuel are now transformed into biochar, an organic crop fertilizer. Good vinegar is used to fertilize vegetable plots and tubers. After sorting, vegetables are used as animal feed. Many other farmers in the area have also switched to using biochar instead of inorganic fertilizer.
I didn't know this production process before. Previously, the tree roots seemed stiff, but now they are softer. The plants are healthier.
Biochar is an NPK mineral that provides nutrients to plants, absorbs toxins from the soil, and through microbial processes, converts heavy metals into nutrients for plants.
Biochar from agricultural byproducts helps Theo and many farmers in the area save approximately 50% on fertilizer usage and significantly improves farming. Critically, farmers have stopped dumping agricultural waste into the environment.
The Xanh Vietnam or Green Vietnam community is currently promoting the message, "It's not my garbage, but it is my planet." Its aim is to propel Vietnam into the top 5 countries with the least plastic waste and to be the cleanest and most beautiful country in Southeast Asia by 2025. Established 5 years ago, Xanh Vietnam has conducted numerous trash removal activities.
This girl was honored by the Youth Union Central Committee in 2023 as Young Living Beautifully due to her unique hobby.
60 years ago, I saw children building sandcastles on the beach. However, as I got closer, I realized it was a castle built from trash. At that moment, I felt very sad and I started picking up trash around the beach. I began organizing small-scale activities with just about 10 people.
With only 10 initial members, the Xanh Vietnam community currently has nearly 50,000 volunteers spread across 63 provinces and cities, including nearly 15 islands and archipelagos, and in 10 countries around the world.
Each person, after picking up trash, becomes an ambassador who inspires their family, friends, and spreads the message on social networks. Our members range from 2 years old to nearly 100 years old. We also provide necessary equipment to ensure the safety of all participants.
One of Xanh Vietnam's standout campaigns is the nationwide trash picking initiative, Clean Up Vietnam, which mobilized over 42,000 volunteers to collect more than 200 tons of trash.
On the day of the campaign, despite the very sunny and hot weather, everyone persevered to complete the task. I felt a sense of unity and the wholehearted mutual support among all participants.
There are no restrictions on participation. The uniforms consist simply of shirts featuring the Vietnamese flag. The community is connected online, enabling anyone, anywhere to take part in this meaningful and crucial activity.
Coming up next in our War News, North Korea tests multi-warrior missile. An attempted coup in Bolivia failed. North Korea has successfully conducted a test of a missile capable of carrying multiple warheads, according to the Korean Central News Agency's KCNA. The Wednesday law tested individual mobile warhead separation and guidance control. The test is of great significance in developing a missiles carrying multiple warheads in North Korea. North Korea's state media said the separate warheads were guided correctly to the 3 coordinate targets. The statement contradicts South Korea's earlier announcement that North Korea test missile exploded in mid-air. Also on Wednesday, the Republic of Korea Air Force conducted a joint air exercise with the U.S. involving about 30 aircraft, including U.S. F-22 Raptor fighters. This latest drill is the second exercise between these two countries this year, deploying South Korean F-35A and U.S. F-22S, both jets categorized as fifth-generation fighters, are renowned for their stealth capabilities and advanced avionics, making them some of the most formidable aircraft in the world. The South Korea Air Force said that the exercise was conducted in the country's eastern airspace, focusing on enhancing coordinations to boost air interception capabilities. General Juan Jose Zuniga, the leader of the coup plot in the South American country of Bolivia, has been arrested. According to Bolivian media, a group of soldiers led by General Zuniga occupying the square in front of the government palace in the capital, La Paz, on Wednesday. Bolivian President Luis Arce condemned this action as a coup attempt. Currently, armored vehicles and soldiers have withdrawn from the area around the Bolivian presidential palace. Previously, many government supporters surrounded the area to protest the unconstitutional actions of the group of soldiers who carried out the coup. General Zuniga, the leader of the coup plot, has been charged with terrorism against public security and state sovereignty. Hidden in the mountains of the Jordanian desert, Petra is a majestic, almost unique place. The temples, tombs, and houses are carved into the mountains. More than 2,000 years later, Petra retains its utmost intact beauty and is recognized by UNESCO as a heritage of humanity.
No one knows when Petra was built. Only a few historical documents remain, showing that this place was once associated with the Nabatean dynasty, which flourished in the 1st century BC. But then, in 363 AD, almost the entire city was buried after an earthquake. It was not until 15 centuries later that people learned about its existence again.
How they carved it from top to the bottom. They used the scaffolding plates. If you look on the right and the left side of the building or of the facade, you will find the holes. Those holes was used to hang the scaffolding plates to start the carving by the chisels and the hammers.
To get to Petra, people must cross a narrow ravine that extends nearly 2 kilometers. At the end of the road, a majestic space opens up.
When they came in here, they were looking for a naturally fortified place. And this place is naturally fortified. Like whenever you go at the top of the mountains and you try to look at Petra, you will see nothing. Why they looked for the fortified place? To keep their treasures safe.
The ancient structures are exquisitely carved. But Petra is also special because people can find diverse architectural schools here. These range from ancient Egypt to the Babylonian civilization in present-day Iraq, or even the open-air theaters in the Greek-Roman style.
And now, as usual, let's continue with the weather forecast. And that's all the news for today. To rewatch our program, you can log on to VTVgo.vn or download our mobile application VTVgo. Thanks for watching and goodbye for now.